Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay, today our topic is the science of purification. Why do we talk about this? The reason I want to share with you the science, because when we strive for Dhamma realization and to progress in the Dhamma, in Sīla, Samādhi, Paññā, virtues, concentration, and wisdom, we need to know the science. It is good if we know how it works. The Buddha didn't propose any method or practice to us based on his willful, just thinking, just as he wished. No, not that he created it. No. He proposed those practice to us, all sorts of purifying, practice for purifying our mind, to purify our mind, based on natural law. That's why we call it science. It has certain nature working. And based on those nature, the Buddha proposed the practice to us. So if we know the science, we will be able to apply the method of practice correct. Otherwise, sometimes we will end up in such a strange situation in which, while we are trying to purify our mind, we end up making the wrong effort. So it is good we know the principle behind the practice and know why, in what way we can make right effort. So the topic is meant for our understanding the Buddha's practice, and so that we can make correct effort, right effort. Okay. When we talk about purification, we have the purification by our virtue practice. When we first become a Buddhist, we 3 refuges and 5 precepts. We are already embarking along on the journey of purification. When we first become Buddhist, the first thing we are taught when we join the Buddha's teaching, when you become a Buddhist, is taking 3 refuges and 5 precepts. Okay, then the science begins. In this case, some kind of faith. Of course, sometimes also because of wisdom, when we see the Buddha or we see the Buddha's disciples, because certain things in them, either virtues or concentration or wisdom, we feel inspired. We develop faith towards the Buddha, or towards the Dhamma, or towards the Sangha. Then we feel this will be good if we follow along the guidance of the Buddha, the guideline of Dhamma, then the Sangha and the Buddha's disciple, those who practice Dhamma well. So these are like guidance, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So when we take a refuge, not in the sense, we don't take refuge in the sense of complete blind reliance, but instead, it is not the kind of reliance, some kind of reliance is there, but it's not the kind of reliance that, like, we want the protection, we want to be free from the bad result of our karma, we want to be safe, we want to get rich, we pray so that we get rewards, not in that sense. When we take 3 refuges, we take refuges in the sense of taking guidance, taking recognizing this is a gem, this is precious for our life. The appearance of the Buddha is precious for our life because it's a light, dispelling darkness. Without the Buddha, we wouldn't know what is the right, what is wrong, what is harmful for us, what is favorable and helpful for us, for our life. So the Buddha is a gem. It's so difficult to appear in the world. It requires a long, long bodhisattva journey and practice and to achieve Buddhahood. And meeting the Buddha is rare. So it's a gem because it's not easy to come by. And it is so precious and important because it gives us hope that an ordinary being like you and I can actually uplift, progress, cultivate, strive on until we achieve so much perfection to be a Buddha of ourselves. It is possible. Whether we do or not do is another thing. The Buddha told us it is possible. So, taking refuge in the Buddha is like taking refuge in a kind of possibility. Why is it important? When the mind doesn't believe this is possible, then there's no way our mind can incline towards, can achieve it. So this possibility is important. Once I have a discussion with a friend who believes in the greater kind of belief, that there's a world that we are created by being or being a higher force, like that. So when we were talking, I said, our job is to purify our mind until we free ourselves from jealousy, from greed, anger, delusion. He said, no, it's not possible. How can we purify ourselves to that level? Even God has anger. God is an angry God, is a jealous God. He doesn't want you to worship other people. You can only worship God. So to him, if God is not free from all that, so how can we, as a mortal, as a human being, to achieve such a greatness? To him, it's not possible. So when he believes it's not possible, how can we achieve it? He will not even try for it. He will not even attempt it. So taking a refuge in the Buddha, is the science is the sign. The first signs when you take refuge in the Buddha is to throw out the hopelessness, the despair, the thing that it is not possible. We accept what is possible as possible. That is what we say when we believe, we trust the Buddha, we have faith in the Buddha, means we know that there is a possibility for human beings, for all beings, in fact, to achieve such a height, if only we practice accordingly. But of course, if we don't, then there's another story. Okay? So, taking refuge in the Buddha, is basically inclining our mind. First, we incline ours towards the Buddha's qualities. And then also accepting the possibility that one day all beings, if only, of course, if only we strive, any being, not all beings, or if any being would strive, would work according to natural law, cause and effect, and fulfill all the causes for Buddhahood, then it's possible to achieve, to become a Buddha. Then, of course, the Buddha didn't give us such a possibility only because not everyone may want to strive to the highest level in order to be free from suffering. The Buddha told us the different possibility, like the possibility of Pacceka Buddha and Arhat. Okay. Now, taking refuge in Dhamma is to accept that there is natural law in the world, which was discovered by the Buddha, by the Buddhas, all Buddhas. They discover natural law. So this is a natural law to abide by. Whatever that is declared by the past Buddhas were actually based on what they discover in nature. And especially those aspects of natural law which are directly related to liberation. Okay, so taking refuge in the Dhamma is also same. It's also that is accepting that this is natural law in the world. Then taking refuge in the Sangha. When we take refuge in the Sangha, then we believe not only the Buddha himself as some sort of super being, Superman. We believe the Buddha was extraordinary, but when we realize that the Buddha's disciples can also in the past they could, now also still can also achieve liberation, realize Four Noble Truths and all other teachings by following faithfully the Buddha's teaching and practice. So you see, it opened up, taking refuge in three refuges, Buddha triple gem, give us such a possibility, open up such a possibility for us. And also the goal, open up the goal to us and open up the methodology, the method to achieve our goal. The moment we take, if we properly or rightly take three refuges, this has opened up in our mind. Not as a form of superstition. Superstition is something that you don't know the method, you just believe it works, but you don't know how to do it. That's superstition, You believe it works, and yet it may not work. You believe there's a creator who can save you, but who is all wise, all compassionate, and yet terrible things happen in the world. And yet you still want to believe there is it, even with such a incoherent, inconsistent thing, conflicting things. So someone who is all powerful, all merciful, and terrible things happen. How can it happen? This kind of thing you can say, yes, this is a pure belief. But for the Buddha's teaching, it's verifiable. We are going to talk about it. The Buddha's teaching is verifiable. Systematically, you can verify. That's why we call it science. Okay? Well, then after that, the Buddha did not let us stop at three refuges. You cannot benefit so much from three refuges, taking three refuges, if we do not apply the Dhamma on the most fundamental level. What are the most fundamental? The very basic, the very gross, unwholesome deeds. Killing, stealing, committing sexual misconduct, lying, and drinking liquor. These virtues required of us, the Buddha wants us to observe, is for our own protection. At this level, we are actually applying what method? When we embark upon the purification of virtue, when we don't do this and we don't do this harmful thing, the 5 precepts, these 5 precepts are varita sīla, abstention. Virtues by abstention. You don't do this, you don't do that, you have the basic virtue. Okay? This is to put a stop to accumulation of evil forces, evil karma in our life. So this way is by faith, this power of faith. It's also science, even though, but it is not faith is everything, but faith works. Scientifically, faith works. It produces strength in our mind to abstain. When we believe this, the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, the triple gem, they are correct, they point the way to us. So this faith in the right thing make us incline our mind, give us strength to abstain from wrongs, from wrongful behavior. So this is the first how the mind works. Okay, the mind works in this way. When you abstain, then you stop doing it. Okay, Then in the Sīla level, we also have the Carita Sīla, action that you need to fulfill. For example, for children, you need to take care of our parents, give them Dhamma, help them, guide them towards the right path, not to let them fall into wrongful thinking. These are the Carita Sīla as a common people. Children towards parents, and parents are supposed, if they can, guide the children towards the right thing, don't let them fall into evil, etc. And similarly, the responsibility for teacher to disciples to guide them correctly, and for disciples to obey, to be obedient and faithful to the guidance of the teacher. So these are the Carita Sīla. So this is given in the Vinaya. But again, in the Sutta, we have Suttanta Sīla showing us to cultivate certain virtues like few wishes, easy to support, contentment, softness of heart, uprightness, thriftiness, not acting proud, etc. Listening to the wise. All these are given us, just such as you just read up in Saleka Sutta, in Metta Sutta, in many other suttas you can read. The Buddha teaches in the Suttanta Sutta, teaches the Suttanta Sīla, how we should conduct ourselves positively, not in the negative sense, but positively, to cultivate the patience, forgiveness, embracing quality, magnanimity, etc., so that we can live well in the world. We have certain good qualities, which is good for us and good for others. So this is the thing. So how can we apply this Sīla correctly? Not everyone can observe it well. Well, sometimes first we in this case, certain level of wisdom is also involved. First, we must have listened to it, to this thing of correct Dhamma. This we call, when we listen to it, we have certain knowledge about what is right and wrong. This knowledge comes under the category of Suttamaya Paññā. Hearing knowledge, a kind of wisdom also, or knowledge, hearing. When you hear, you know it. But the power depends, the application depends on how much faith you have in it, because you don't deeply understand fully. But later, through reflection, Paccavekkhana, you learn how to apply in your real life context and how to apply the principle of these virtues. Then slowly, whatever you have learned, whatever you have listened, become Cintamaya Paññā. This is a wisdom. This is a thinking wisdom. But not only that, if you want to be able to observe a Sīla well, you need to practice how the science evolve a lot of the science of the mind. The many aspects of our mind can enable us to be able to be free from unwholesome deeds, to apply our mind correctly. For example, attention, manasikara. There are two types of attention. We have wise attention, means yoniso manasikara, and unwise attention, ayoniso manasikara. This attention, when we apply attention wrongly to something, then we tend to have incur defilements. For example, when something bad happened to us, if you think that you instead of looking at why I get hurt, there's an I. When I get hurt, I have an I. People just scold me. Yes, the scolding already finished. But because of me holding on to it, then I suffer. Yes, if you can see like that, good. But most people, without training, untrained people, they tend to point fingers out. Yes, the person scolded me, the person hurt me. But usually, it is the person may hurt us for 5 seconds by bad words. But it is our attachment to it, our wrong attention to it, that make us suffer, make us keep things in our mind, in our heart for a long time. Okay, so if you have this wrong attention, thinking always point the fingers outside, then the defilements never end. But if you have wise attention, thinking that this is a result of some kind of vipaka, result of bad karma, and after all, it's over. The moment I heard the bad words, it's over. Then what can I do? I shouldn't waste my time on what I cannot make a change. Whatever I cannot make a change, it becomes irrelevant to me in terms of purification. So I should ignore this and switch my attention to how I can make good use of this for the arousing of good qualities such as endurance, the Kandi Parami. We can use the unpleasant experience as our cultivation of Kandi Parami. So this wise attention, if you apply wise attention, you cannot have defilements. Even if you happen to end up in defilements due to habitual tendency, then you can recover very quickly if you have applied wise attention. Okay, and likewise, the power of mindfulness and the four clear comprehensions, this you can learn one by one because each one of them can be a big topic or a series of topics. But just to let you know, the various quality of mind, the function, how it function, mindfulness, how it function, clear comprehension, how it function, the endurance, antidote, various ways. The Buddha taught to purify our mind because the Buddha taught us according to natural law. Okay? Yeah. So these are and in fact, the Buddha taught us how this mindfulness works, how wise attention works, how unwise attention works for unwholesomeness, and etc. So after that, because of the certain understanding we get by listening to Dhamma, and the certain understanding we get by reflecting upon the application of Dhamma, then plus the wise attention, mindfulness, clear compassion, etc., then we are able to achieve purification of virtue. But this is one way, but it cannot be conclusive for our liberation. This is not enough. Virtue alone is not enough. By cultivating virtue based on the various kinds of wise attention, mindfulness, clear comprehension, endurance, antidote, etc., still not enough. Then the Buddha proceed to apply the science of removal by replacement and for a right effort, etc. This is when we come to purification of consciousness. Or sometimes we translate purification of mind. This is basically concentration practice. When the Buddha when talk about concentration in Noble Eightfold Path, the Buddha said, first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. So these are concentration. When you achieve this jhana, the mind is free from nivarana, the 5 hindrances. So, and how it works? What is the sign? This is because the sign is based on how the laws of the mind. We call citta niyama, the laws of the mind. The mind is like that. When the mind is in wholesome state, it cannot be in unwholesome state. This unwholesome state and wholesome state doesn't exist in the same mind or same thought process. It doesn't work that way. So once, based on this understanding, we know if we can focus, cultivate concentration very well, focus properly, then how can defilements arise? Defilements have no chance to arise. This is a removal of the defilements by replacement, by removal. And concentration itself, we can achieve for right effort. For example, when we focus on our breath, let's say we practice anapanasati, mindfulness on the breathing. When we practice, we focus on our breath. In breath, we know it is bringing in. Out breath, we know we are breathing out. Based on starting from here until we practice deeper and deeper and deeper. Until the nimitta arises, we focus on nimitta, then we enter jhana. So when we practice like this, the unwholesome state which hasn't arisen has no chance to arise. No chance. Because when you focus so well, defilements have no chance to arise. Because the mind doesn't stay in the wholesome state, that unwholesome state, in one single moment it does happen. Alternately, yes, it may happen alternately, but not in one single moment, mind moment, or in one single thought process. So the unarisen, unwholesome state has no chance to arise. And if it so happens when you meditate, the mind incurs defilements, when you quickly focus on the breath again, you find that the unwholesome state gets cut off. So the arisen unwholesome states become cut off, removed. When you quickly switch back and concentrate on your breathing. And thirdly, the third right effort is when you focus very well, patiently, mindfully on your breathing, what happens to your mind? Your mind gets and especially when you experience some bliss, you have more faith towards the Buddha's teaching. Because you start to see, it is real, nimitta is real, jhana is real. So, unarisen, unwholesome state, because of our focusing on good training of concentration. So the wholesome state, mindfulness gets stronger, concentration gets stronger. One, the various qualities of our mind, jhana factors all arising, stronger and stronger until from one jhana to another jhana. So, an arisen, wholesome state arise, and instead, if you continue to focus to practice correctly, the arisen, wholesome state, the faith, the energy, mindfulness, concentration, the wisdom, it will which has arisen, it will get even stronger. Unarisen one will arise, and if it has arisen, then you find it, if you continue to focus on your meditation, then that becomes brighter, concentration stronger, more penetrating. Then you can practice the vipassana. Okay? Then, now let's look at this. That in the seventh purification, we have touched on the wisdom part. Just now, so far, we touched on the virtue part and the concentration part. Now is the wisdom part. The purification of view. What kind of view we purify? When we look at a human, man and woman, conceptual truth, conceptual reality. You cannot say there's no man, no woman. When we keep research, we got ourselves. The monk will guard themselves from the temptation of opposite sex. So you must know this is opposite sex, this is a women. It's likewise for women also. They need to know. This is a man, this is a woman. Yeah, this already everybody know. Very simple. But this is only one view. You look at people as a self, as a one whole lump of body. But when you practice up to purification of view, you analyze you because of the power of concentration which you have cultivated in the stage of purification of consciousness, then now the mind can penetrate the reality. The subatomic particles in the body, and you can see the various earth, water, fire, wind elements, color, or color, order, and then the nutrition, nutriment. And various like the life faculty, life force, and then the various elements, like what we call them. The life of light, like let's say in the eyes, you have that transparent element that can sensitive to color, and the ear transparent element can be sensitive to sound. When you can see up to that level, we break down what we believe to be a big bunch of body, we break down into elements. And these elements, they are arising and passing away with extreme fast speed. Okay? So then at this stage, you start to see another level. You start to see another level of reality we call ultimate reality. This is a little similar, in fact quite the same, but with the quantum physics discovery. Nowadays, when people study quantum physics up to the particles level, they also find it's all empty, so much space in what we believe to be so solid. Okay? This is proven. Otherwise, if the wall is not having a lot of space, we sit in the building, we cannot receive our phone, we will not be able to receive the messages because the wall is full of space. So all the transmission of the energy can enter, penetrating the wall. So now, these are a lot of things you can notice in quantum physics. People open the eye opener. People discover that what we believe to be very solid is no more so solid. Okay? So there's nothing to hold on to. But when you first cultivate this purification of view, you start to get a glimpse of what we mean here, what the Buddha meant by ultimate reality. So this is very important. Why? Why the Buddha wants us to see, penetrate ultimate reality? Because this is in this level, we will be able to see the true nature of what we call a self, what we call others. Because of this attachment, we incur so much causes of suffering, and we suffer so much in the beginningless life, the cycle of life. We suffer so much, we committed so much unwholesome deeds because of holding on to the self only. If only we can penetrate this reality by various levels, the kind of illusion of self, of one, myself, and others, slowly, because of reality, it just gets dispelled. It just cannot sustain that. Just like when light appears, you switch on the light, there's no more darkness. Something like that. Okay? So, the science is to use it. Why? The reality will give us to open up our eyes, our mind, and make us realize that there's nothing to hold on to. Okay? So this is very important. This is the beginning stage of the science of purifying our mind by realities. Reality. The Buddha didn't make us see suffering for the sake of suffering more. No, of course the Buddha wouldn't do that, and nobody would do that, right or not? But the Buddha wants us to see the nature of suffering, that all five aggregates are suffering, so that we can purify our mind, start to develop the right view to things, to see through the realities behind solid objects. Then because of that, when there's nothing to hold on to, the mind naturally purify. Okay, so this is a reality. Likewise, not only that, the Buddha also taught us the purification of overcoming doubt by practicing dependent origination. There are doubts, doubts about who are we, how I came about in the past, where in the past, where I would be heading to. Yeah. The doubt about cause, effect, and the doubt about rebirth. The rebirth. Many people don't believe in rebirth. Some religions don't believe in rebirth, but rebirth is real. Because of not understanding rebirth, people incur so much defilements, you see, racism. Just we choose one only. There's racism. Cannot exist. Why? Because if only you know rebirth, if only we know the cause and effect, you don't always be reborn as human. How can we blindly believe that I will always end up as this race or that race? No. Even to be human also rare, not easy. So because of that, if we practice further to understand this life, not only knowing them as materiality, mentality, we also know how these things come about and where are we heading if we do this and do that. So that's basically the understanding about rebirth and cause and effect, the law of cause and effect. This is so important for life, so important. So much suffering in the world, the wars, the revenge, so much happens because of not understanding these two things only, just rebirth and cause and effect. If only they know, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't commit such evil in the world. Okay? So this, again, is very, very important knowledge. There's not the purification of view. The knowledge is about seeing reality. Then the fourth purification of overcoming doubt is basically seeing the cause and effect of relationship again. So this is more thorough than what I told you all. So this is not fancy, not imagining, but seeing things as they really are with wisdom. Okay? So the science is again is using reality. Using reality to guide us. And also using the law of cause and effect to guide us, teaching us how to cultivate faith, how to cultivate energy, mindfulness, concentration. Okay? So this is the science. Then further, the Buddha taught us for the purify. The Buddha in fact teach us how to overcome the pitfalls, the danger along the journey of Dhamma practice. Sometimes when we practice, we start to receive good things in our life, in our practice. When we receive good things, then there's a danger. Sometimes we take this as the end of everything. Oh, I have achieved. And sometimes we misguide ourselves. It's possible, because the experience is so good. This we say the Buddha taught. Say there are 10 imperfections of insight. One is illumination or light. You see a lot of light is so bright. So people believe this light or this brightness is Nibbana. So they think they have achieved. It's possible. Sometimes people claim they have achieved because the experience is so transcendental, it's so superior to our worldly experience. Then knowledge also, you have to know a lot, you think you know a lot. In fact, there's much more to know. And yet, this knowledge, because of knowledge, one may become proud. Oh, I know this, I know that. And also rapturous happiness. Sometimes you can feel so happy because of coming up to this level, concentration, and seeing the arising and passing away then the happiness can arise. And tranquility. And just now the rapturous happiness basically means pity, or rapture. So we just consider rapture, the grosser kind of happiness. Then you can experience a subtle level of happiness, sukha, the bliss. Then more gentle happiness. And then also you may feel resolution. Oh, I want to do this, I want to help people, I want to tell my family. Oh, you may incur a lot of this kind of thinking because of your eye-opening. Okay? So strong resolution. And then you can make long effort. You notice you can see for hours and hours and hours without getting tired. This is also one phenomenon may happen. The assurance, oh, this is right, assurance, very sure. The kind of mindfulness, assured mindfulness, some kind of. The equanimity. The mind gets very balanced. And then the last one is attachment. Attachment to this state. To these good experience. So out of the 10, for insight, illumination, knowledge, rapture, tranquility, bliss, resolution, exertion, assurance, or mindfulness, equanimity, or attachment. Is it all bad? No. Imperfection in the sense that actually all the first 9 are all good qualities. We are not going to chase these qualities away. It's good that they stay. It is the only obstacle is the attachment, which is unwholesome, akusala citta arising out of an unwholesome mental state. Because you attach. So if you don't attach, the rest of the imperfection of insight are not imperfection in the real sense. It becomes imperfect only when we attach to them. If you don't attach to them, it is fine. Let them come, let them go. Okay? So how to do it? And when you come to this stage, how should we do it? It's not easy to remove the attachment to good state, good experience. Now in Vipassana, we are teaching, we are taught how to see the anicca, dukkha, anatta of upakilesa. This imperfection of insight. We try to see their impermanence, suffering, and non-self nature. Take them as meditation object. So when you see things as they really are with wisdom, then you notice you can let go by seeing. So once you have done this, then you have achieved purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path. What is and what is not the path. Because now you know, even this is not Nibbana, even this 10 imperfection of insight, their nature is also anicca, dukkha, anatta. They are also impermanent, suffering, and non-self. So this is important knowledge. After that is purification by knowledge and vision of the way. This aspect, push our mind, push up, because of seeing the reality that you have nothing to grasp. All are vanishing, vanishing, vanishing. Various knowledge arise and passing away knowledge, dissolution knowledge. Then you start to see this is terrible, endless. Okay? Then you can also see the danger, in fact. Danger that these arising and passing away things, they can be harmed. You just get the knowledge because of by seeing the reality. And then after that, the mind gets passionate towards what people chase after so much. You don't. At least during the insight, the knowledge, you don't. Of course, if you have not attained the path and vision, then even you have some high achievement, the achievement may not stay, may not remain. So you need to keep up again and again. Then after seeing the appearance of all these arising and passing away states, error, danger, dispassion, and then dispassion, and then there's a desire for deliverance, to be free from all this endless arising and passing away. Because of what? Because sin of religion. Otherwise, the desire is not easy to let go, because all the sweet things, the nice things. But once you have seen all these nice things, they are also anicca dukkha anatta, impermanent, suffering, and non-self. Then the mind desire to be delivered from this state, called knowledge, desire for deliverance, and then you reflect on many things about whatever you have experienced. Then disenchantment, and the mind move on to the next level, purification by knowledge and vision. Then you experience change of lineage from the lay, Putujana state to lay life, the switch over. That's the switch over to the Arya, to the same. Then you achieve the path and vision. So now, let's look at the science again. After we have briefly talked about the self-purification, there's power of reality. The first step Buddha invokes. Just train our mind until we are strong enough that we have inner light, so that we can come face to face with reality, materiality, mentality, and their causes, which is depend on origination. And see that their true nature is actually arising and passing away with extreme fast speed. So this power of really how it works in dismantling illusion. We have the illusion of this something very solid. I is solid. My beloved ones are all solid. We expect, as if we expect permanency. But now the Buddha taught us by training us through virtues training, concentration training, concentration to develop the instrument, the ability, the light of wisdom to see a reality. We develop concentration so that we remove or gross obstacles by virtues. We develop concentration to remove even subtler defilements, keep them in suppression, no chance to arise. And then eventually when the mind becomes very bright, let the mind see a reality. So this mind, by the time the mind can see a reality, the mind is very strong. Very strong. The strong mind come into the contact with the realities, it produces a very strong impact to the mind. The mind can purify no more. Because it is the illusion of I that we committed a lot of unwholesome state. So the Buddha's methodology is very simple. You just see a reality, illusion gets dispelled. Just like when we see light, there's no more darkness. In the same way. So the illusion, which are the foundation for the arising of all causes of suffering. When we see, then the see itself is dismantling this, the illusion. Then another law is very important. You see the Buddha apply everywhere is the law of cause and effect. What kind of causes will produce in us the ability to see a reality as they really are and overcome all the defilements? It is the law of cause and effect. You see the Buddha apply the law of cause and effect on us so that they help us, so that it is not the Buddha that purifies us. It is our own effort. By following the Buddha's teaching, Buddha Dhamma Sangha, we apply the cause and effect correctly. We work on the right causes for the arising of necessary mental strength. And after that, we use it, the mental strength, to see realities as they really are with our wisdom. Okay? So now, the Buddha used cause and effect. Only right causes produces the right effect. Only pure causes produce pure goal. Our goal is liberation. Our goal is to achieve purification. Then, how can we believe that committing unwholesome deeds is a plus that enable us to achieve the pure result? Not possible. Because whatever the Buddha declared to be causes of suffering, it cannot be otherwise. It will end up as causes of suffering. Okay? So we want to overcome by facing reality and by working on the causes, relevant causes. So remember this. So you don't make effort with strong attachment, don't crave for result, don't crave for purification states. Purified states of our mind. Don't crave. Just work on the causes. Then we will be able to achieve what we wish for. Okay. So this is today I will give a simple, just a short talk, not too long. There's one question here. So the question is, I believe, I trust I know the question correctly. If I'm wrong, please correct. So it says, are we free from the bondage of karma and cause and effect, the law of cause and effect? Whatever wholesome deeds we do, and whatever unwholesome deeds we do, don't bind us just by when we purely focusing on our mind and body, our breathing. This kind of practice, mindfulness practice. Actually, cause and effect, the law of cause and effect is there. It's all by us. But when we are mindful, still the karma can ripen, Yeah, when we are mindful, doesn't mean mindful. Just that when we are mindful, the mindfulness is wholesome state. Mindfulness is a wholesome process. So it produces good cause and it will produce good result also. Okay, but also when we are mindful, we don't create new unwholesome states only. But it doesn't mean we can be free from the law of cause and effect. No, a mindful person can also encounter that result of sickness and whatever. Okay, that's all for today. So maybe we share merit together. Recite. Idam me punyam sawakaya wahang hotu. Idam me punyam nibbana sapachayo hotu. Mama punya bhagam sabba sattanam bhajemi te sabbe me samam punya bhagam labhantu. Sadhu.